Um, as a horror enthusiast with over 3 decades of chills under my belt, I must say that revisiting the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was like diving headfirst into a pit of spiders, terrifying yet oddly exhilarating. This iconic film has aged incredibly well, much like a fine wine that gets more potent with time. Um, 50 years ago, I found myself captivated by a chilling masterpiece named The Texas Chain Saw Massacre, directed by Tobe Hooper. Despite its blood-curdling title, grim plot, a group of youngsters stumble upon a family of cannibals in the backwoods. Only one escapes, and ominous tagline, "Who will survive, in fact, what will be left of them?" What sets this film apart is that it delivers its gruesome moments with minimal special effects, bloodshed, or gore. The original movie remains impactful and intense, despite not being as gory as contemporary horror films like, for example, when Leatherface suspends Pam from the meat hook, the scene effectively utilizes various elements to evoke the sensation of the sharpness and weight of the instrument, such as her frightened responses, the eerie way she's rigged in the air, the suspense building pause before Leatherface's next action, and other atmospheric factors. Uh, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is an exercise in pure horror. Every element of the movie exalts in relentless brutality. As a film critic, let me share my thoughts. The movie is unyieldingly brutal throughout its duration, much like a relentless sledgehammer. Despite the numerous sequels and adaptations it has spawned across various timelines of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, this 1974 original film stands out for its stripped down and straightforward approach to Democrat films. It focuses intently on the five main characters, particularly Sally Hardesty, the emerging final girl. This movie uses every cinematic tool at its disposal to underscore their harrowing journey into the abyss. Daniel Pearl's filmmaking style effectively mirrors the film's atmosphere. Scenes such as when Pam enters the house showcase his talent as a director, creating a raw, tangible ambiance that lends authenticity and impact to the on-screen events, an effect that a more refined movie might not achieve. It feels like peeking into a disturbing scene through a dirty window rather than watching a film in a theater. Um, However, it's important to note that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is still very much a movie and not a documentary. In this rephrased version, I've aimed to convey the original meaning while making it more accessible for a wider audience. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is well served by its cast and storytelling, committed performances, and powerful subtext. Um, make it an enduring classic. Is a remarkable example of every aspect working seamlessly together to create an overall effect. Yet, it wouldn't have been possible without the complete dedication of its cast. The majority of victims managed to steer clear of the wooden acting that characterizes many low-budget slasher films from later years. Uh, Notably, Edwin Neal and Jim Cito deliver outrageous, all-out, unpredictable performances in their roles as the unnamed family members known as the Hitchhiker and Old Man, respectively. However, it's the fearless duo of Burns and Hansen as Leatherface, who truly shine, in contrast to Leatherface, who is a large chainsaw-carrying murderer with a mask made from human skin. Hanson's portrayal evokes immense empathy, underscoring his life in a state of constant immaturity due to his irresponsible family, which is in much like his victims, he is filled with fear, dreading his family's anger, confused about the numerous intruders in his residence, and reacting impulsively. The irony lies in the fact that the film's infamous antagonist may not be as villainous as we perceive, further emphasizing the morally ambiguous world created by Hooper, the movie that doesn't understand. In this rephrased version, Hooper, along with Kim Henkel, pens a movie that serves as an intense outburst of anger, merging the grim realities of the early 1970s into a harrowing single experience in general. Uh, um, this film, titled, not only marks the beginning of the slasher genre, but also reflects the disillusionment and violence stemming from the Vietnam War and economic struggles of the period. The family resorts to cannibalism due to losing their jobs at the slaughterhouse. And furthermore, it delivers a strong vegan message by subjecting its characters to the same violent treatment as animals in a slaughterhouse. Uh, the Texas Chain Saw Massacre remains as shocking and propulsive as ever. And the movie may be bleak, but it has not lost its exhilarating the gruesome violence depicted in the horror classic, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, still packs a punch today. This is largely due to the fact that the kill scenes maintain their initial shock factor with only a handful of special effects, like the mask, giving life to the elderly grandpa deviating from this. Moreover, the film's setting within a bleak and desolate world enhances its impact, as it mirrors an already depressing reality, uh, despite potentially being a product of budget constraints. The implied gore has allowed the movie to age remarkably well over time. In the Tobe Hooper horror film, everything associated with the violence seems harsh and unkind, starting with a drunk man lazing at the cemetery in the opening scenes, to Sally's brother Franklin, who unfortunately rolls down a hill while relieving himself by the roadside, to Sally discovering her old family home reduced to dust, inhabited by spiders. Uh, uh, the design of the killer family's residence further underscores this, as it appears normal on the outside, but is filled with gruesome items like bones, feathers, and macabre artworks crafted from human remains within its corners. Although it's intense and gruesome, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre continues to be unyieldingly thrilling and electrifying. Even with numerous copies, nothing quite matches the adrenaline rush from each part, working in perfect sync to set your nerves on edge. Um, Watching it is akin to being strapped onto a roller coaster, an experience that lasts right up until its iconic ending. Unlike other films, this one doesn't slow down. Instead, it propels us back into reality immediately, with no soft landing, which is its most ingenious twist of all. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is playing in theaters for its 50th anniversary, beginning October 1st.